of my father.
Just
really.
Or the Zoom, okay? Yes.
Yeah. So that kind of translated into let's take a risk. So I just, in the beginning, I just nagged and basically asked family, friends, just record something, sing, dance, and just entertain people, help them. And then I tagged a fundraiser on the end of it, and I thought, okay, if we're going to do that, let's raise some money, let's do some good. Because I've lost a lot of my own family members, both my mum's and my dad's side, to heart disease, and it's always been on my heart, and I support them personally. I chose to raise money for the British Heart Foundation. So just with a few tips from one of my friends and contacts from LinkedIn, I managed to just put a show together with basically just video clips, and everybody was saying, oh, this is different. And everybody was really excited, and I was getting clips in, video clips in from different ages, from like 3 years old to in the 90s. It was really exciting. But I'm not a video buff, so you'll see that it's a very basic video show. In the first one, the very first production is very kind of basic, but it got the job done. And I think I always struggle to remember the amount raised, but I think it was about nearly £700 we raised for the British Heart Foundation. And actually after that, I got an email from the West Yorkshire fundraising manager, surprisingly, saying, this is very unique. We like what you're doing, and can we support you in any way? So that was that. And I wasn't expecting anything else really. And I was just thinking, let's just do fundraisers and help people here. But of course, when you produce a show on YouTube, it's international, it's global. And I didn't think about that. I was just more kind of, I hope my video uploads and memory and all the rest of it. So that's what I thought. And then I just started getting inquiries from like abroad that I never expected. So there was like inquiries from Kenya, from Ghana. It was just coming from everywhere.
How many actually views did you get on your video? And do you have a YouTube channel?
I think the very first one, I think we got about 200 or maybe, about 200 views. I have no idea who viewed it, but I mean, it could be just anyone, but we had a good response because people wanted to take part. And I suppose everybody knows somebody that was feeling lonely at that time. So I felt like everybody kind of wanted to bridge that gap. It wasn't just me. Once people got to know about it, it really touched their heart, and they thought, yeah, I can do this for my grandma or my sister or somebody, you know. So I think it resonated with them, and that's why they took part, and they kind of wanted to be part of that and donated and everything. So as we were going along on the second show, we started getting even more inquiries. And I said, okay, I'm not in a place to kind of, obviously there's no control or any due diligence in place. You can't just send money abroad to people. It's just a bad thing to do altogether. So it's very risky. So, and I just thought, okay, I have no way of kind of handling this or managing this or verifying any of these claims. I mean, you know, are they real? Are they genuine? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. And then I met up with a friend from church, and she actually told me that there was somebody out there that I knew, one of my friends from church, and they actually said that they run a women's program there already in Uganda, so at least I should inquire. And then I contacted her, and yeah, that was our first partnership. And I said, okay, all I know how to do is to just set businesses up for people. That's what I do here in the UK market. And I'm all business orientated. I don't really know what else to do. So then basically they verified things, they contacted them, and we just sent the funds over. I think there were just 3 of us at that point in BH40. And we collaborated. We just decided, let's just do it. So we sent the funds over to the charity there, and yeah, you'll see the pictures on Facebook, on all our social media, every kettle, bowl, utensil. That was the first street market cafe that we ever opened. That was the first BH40 market street stall. And they were looking after...
BH40 stands for what exactly was it?
Be happy for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the idea behind everything.
Yeah. So that is the vision.
And then the vehicle is this coffee shops, or how?
Yes. Yeah. So the first one was a very humble street stall. And that was the very first one. And that was the first orphanage we ever helped. So we moved it. It made a real difference because they started selling the food and the income started coming in and they became a lot more sustainable. So that idea really resonated with me. And I said, you know, instead of these people asking for money, why don't I just do what I can do anyway, and see how it goes? So we trademarked BH40, Be Happy for Nothing, so that basically we could use it in various remits. So it could be under education, it could be anything really. We have a vast kind of opportunity in terms of the categories that we can launch under. It is a vehicle that can take shape in many forms. So what happened was, then we opened the first BH40 market cafe in Uganda. And then from there, we got inquiries from Kenya. And then I was told that actually there's quite a few people from church that there's a particular couple that run a school there. So we're partnered with them. We're partnering with them at the moment. And so we have now in Kenya, we have, so we set up a project coordinator. He approached us and said, I would love to do something. I would love to get involved in what you're doing. I have an orphanage of 50 children. I can't feed them. So we said, okay, after carrying out the due diligence, you know, if we're happy, we will try and resource you. So that was the first BH40 food cafe in Maguri. That was the first one in Kenya. We now have 14. Some of them are juice cafes in Kenya, and we've just recently set up the Training and Empowerment Centre for women that are victims of FGM. They've had some very, very cruel experiences, and we've opened the centre in Kisii, and the STEMA team is looking after that centre now. We're up and running. So we are providing sewing opportunities, just basically vocational opportunities where they can learn how to sew, they can learn other crafts. So basically those women become more independent and they have a better quality of life. In India, we have one community school where we are, we've picked up village children that are homeless, that had no hope. So we feed them, we educate them, we study them, and the India team there in the south is looking after that. And then in North India, we have our project manager who manages the whole of North India. We are shortly, in about 2 to 3 months, about to open up a community. It's called BH40 Delhi Bright Horizons School. And that's for girls and women that don't have access to education because of where they are in the locality. The gender inequality gap still exists. So we're trying to bridge that gap, and these are very bright, intelligent and hopeful children and women that perhaps won't get a chance. So we're trying to do that. In Pakistan, we have 2 sewing centres, and we have a flood relief programme recently that we started. And then in Ghana, we're due to start up. In Nigeria, we've just started 2 new young businessmen. We've just registered their businesses so that one has an art gallery and the other one is set up as an artist. He's training people how to basically, he's a phenomenal artist, so he's training people up so that they then become independent artists. That's very small, but we can see that it will steamroll and become bigger.
I remember when you were explaining all of these things while I was in my motorhome driving through Turkey. And I couldn't believe when I started to listen to all these things. And I said, well, this young lady, maybe her organization is working with a lot of millions of British pounds, and she's working all over the world. It is a very interesting thing she's doing, but it is going to be very inspiring for the people that are listening to actually understand how, when we are doing things with our passion, in other people's minds and in the realities of other people, it looks like it is such an enormous impact, and it is an enormous impact. But the thing is that it doesn't take a lot of physical matter money. So approximately all these projects, with what budget was created till now?
I think the cafes normally kind of 200 to 250 pounds. We can set a cafe up, because the 100%, whatever people give, we have corporate sponsors, we have international sponsors, we have lovely, generous little old ladies giving £3 a month. We have a vast majority. And what we do is, the cafes are like 200 to 250 pounds. And then the kind of centres and stuff, we haven't spent, I don't think, more than £500 so far. But the school is going to cost a good £700 to £800 to set up. But the good news is we've nearly got most of it in. Because that's not me, Alex, that's just people's generosity. I can't take the credit for that. People want to be involved. We don't have a payroll function, so I've wiped out all that. Basically 100% goes to source, and it's shown exactly where it goes, and it makes the impact that it's meant to do. It's just great. And we are about to launch in Canada in December. We've got a community fun day. I've got a fabulous project manager there called Heather, and we're running that. So we're doing a community fun day. We've already been approached by a boxing gym there to partner with them. They've been offering youth programs for the past 20 years, and they're saying, can we get involved? We've also got sponsorship for the food and drink, because young people always like food and drink. We've got a school that's offered their premises. So,
And this is in Canada, the project in Canada, correct?
Yes, I think it's launching on the 4th of December. Yeah.
And, this is really great, because what I like about the way you are approaching solving of the problems in reality, and the way you are thinking, is that it is not just a transactional thing, somebody to give me money and I to give to somebody else to consume. Actually, through the money that people are giving away, you are able to create a long-term process of constant return of the investment with a social impact, which is long-term. So if anybody is, let's say, investing something like 300 or 400 or 500 pounds with you, it is going to create a lasting long-term impact into some community.
Yes, exactly. Because we always plan and intend to make it sustainable. So it's not just about, obviously, because before you set up something like a training centre or a school, it's not just the initial capital outlay, it's obviously the monthly sustainable expense, then the teaching fees and everything that we've got to take into account. So before we set up the model, the first thing we look at is covering the sustainability. How is this going to be sustained? And because we're setting up cafes, or we're adding on a water stall or something to bring in a bit of money, it is able to sustain itself. So that is the first thing we do, to look at. And because we don't take a penny back, it's there, and it's set in, once it's set up and it's going, it's having an impact. It's a very simple model. I mean, basically phase one, we don't just set up projects, businesses. We are kind of, for those kind of projects, like we have a partner in India called Food Box Foundation, and they kind of work all around India. And through them, we're able to, under our monthly support program, we are able to support at least 100 food packs for children every month. So that is phase one, is emergency monthly support and provision, where we can't just go in and change something and build a big centre because we don't have the means. We do offer, under a monthly support program, we do try and get those children fed still somehow. And phase two is like business mentoring. So it's not just business mentoring, it's also people mentoring, because you obviously, if they don't believe in what they're doing, how are they going to have an impact on what they are actually doing? And what we find is phase two isn't normally a very long phase, because whoever is kind of in that position is already running that concept. So if you've got someone that wants to set up a school, they're already a teacher that have that passion for those children anyway. So it doesn't take much convincing. All it takes is just a bit of confidence building and motivation, just to say, you know, we work with them, we work where they're at, you know, and we're trying to kind of move it, the needle, which is why the logo, the meter in the logo is kind of moved from negative to positive. It's moved from sad to happy. So once we, you know, we can kind of convince and persuade and influence that person, because we believe that deep down inside, wherever you are, you know, you can make a difference. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can do something. You know, and that, I think, is just the basic vehicle, that is the basic concept that drives BH40 forward. We don't just believe in the children and in their future and what they can do. We believe in the drivers as well, because they are human and they want to make a difference. And to be honest, Alex, the credit goes to them, because we're not there on the ground. You know, we say, right, let's get going, but it's them that get it going.
Yeah.
You know, we're not doing that. We're not doing the physical work. It's the teams out there that are working really hard to set these things in place. They believe that it can be done. They believe us and they trust us and they get it done. So, you know, I can't take the credit for that, because I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So the only thing you are doing is that you're making the first sparks, and after this they are continuing with this burning desire. So I like this very much. And from the perspective of how we rule our realities, a lot of the people can see that in reality we have three fundamentals. One of the fundamental is being who we are, and a lot of us are just staying into our beingness mode and are not interacting with reality, are not trying to actually create a change or to create an impact, just staying in ourselves, and we just close ourselves to what is out there and what is happening in the world. Then
yeah, I mean, yeah,
what you're very strongly involved in is to actually start doing. It doesn't matter what is, if it's authentic, it is from your heart. You just do what you can in the moment, and then everything beautiful is happening after this and independently of you.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is we always make it clear that you're not doing this for you. So where you've got the human self saying, what's in it for me? Forget that. That's not going to happen. You're not doing this for you. Every brick that you're building or laying isn't going to have a direct benefit on you, but it's going to benefit a lot of other people. And from that, you are going to benefit personally. You know, there's nothing there that says, okay, you do this for us, we'll pay you this. That's not there. That's not what this is built on. You know, this is about recognizing that inside of everyone. You see, when anybody wants to join us, it's because they already recognize that they can make that difference. There is something there that they can offer, they can bring it. Sometimes they don't know what, because when our coordinators speak to them and they say, what would you like to bring? And they say, I don't really know what I can do, but I want to do something. This is often what you hear. So it's about mentoring them and kind of, you know, working with them to kind of see, okay, where can you give And even it doesn't matter how much they contribute, when they find that they're giving for someone else and they're seeing the happiness on someone else's face, particularly when they're children, you know, then they can see the value of that giving rather than taking. So BH40 is about giving. It's not about taking.
Yeah, this is really good. And this is what is like for me, the primary thing, the fundamental part of us, that once we open ourselves for giving, only then actually life starts working in such a way that it gives back to us, and we don't know why and from where and when and what is happening. But yeah, I like this. And what about your personal way in what are you doing personally in order not to 100% identify your life only with what you are doing? Because, for example, I'm a businessman, and if I identify 100% only with my business, then I'm out of balance. And in your personal life, how you make this difference between what you are passionate about, the projects, but also your personal life and who you are and all the other things, how you separate all these things in your life, and how are you doing it?
Well, I suppose because for me, I think reality, like I like your byline, I like the title where every time you say reality rules, it's true, because many people don't know their reality, you know, they themselves, because we don't sit about trying to think, okay, what is our reality? This is not a question you ask about yourself. But often what I find, Alex, is that, you know, one thing I've come across in life is that you don't get I always have a saying, and I'll explain it to you. So I always say, dress, you know, wear your Sunday dress for the Monday folks. And what that means is, when you're going to church, in the olden days, they used to wear their best Sunday dress. So they had their hat and everything. And, you know, everybody was looking prim and proper and things for the Monday folks. So the people that you see in your household and around you, your neighbors, your community, what you find is, we know, you know, we think reality, but we don't say it. We don't express it. We don't release it. When you find it released is at somebody's funeral. You find it in a funeral speech. That is where you find what somebody really thinks from somebody, what someone wants to give someone, you know, or I wanted to give them this, and this is what I thought. That's when it comes out. So my onus is, whether I'm in business, I mean, I run my own marketing company. I am a marketing background, I'm a marketeer. And also I'm a wife, a mother. You know, these are all realities. But in everything, I think I don't want to kind of, you know, I'm not going to be here to hear it in my funeral speech, and neither am I going to be here to tell anybody when it's too late. So for me, it's about expressing it whilst I'm alive. And I suppose that is my legacy, that my reality is that basically the good inside you, you know, the reality that you feel, the reality you believe, it only becomes reality for other people when you express it, when you give reality, when we keep our reality to ourselves in regards to how we want to see the world. It's just going to sit inside us, you know. This is another phrase I often use, and I like it. I can't remember who wrote the original quote, but thinking of going to the gym burns 0 calories. That's the best way to, if you're thinking about it, it's good that you're thinking about it, but if you're not doing anything about it, you're not going to burn any calories. So for me, that is reality. My reality is what I'm giving out, you know, what I'm thinking of the earth, what I'm thinking of the potential of how to change things. I'm giving it out, I'm releasing that. And only then can it become someone else's reality. If I'm keeping it to myself, then it's not going, that reality is not impacting anyone.
Yeah, I like this a lot because maybe for the last 2-3 years, I was involved strongly into this mindset movement, personal development movement. And what I actually got furious with or didn't like a lot is that all the people are just wanting, especially in the Western society, just to stay in their minds. We can be the biggest people on the earth in our minds. We're the most beautiful, the best, we are so good and so on, but in our minds. And then when it comes to expression, all of us have the same problem. We are constantly procrastinating. And I ask myself why this thing is happening. And what I realized through research, that actually it's very important not to have only your mindset, but also to have your heart set and your gut set, and then your care set. So these 4 principles, if you don't know what you care about to be revealed in this outer reality, actually you cannot create this drive and passion and cannot release it in the outside. And I'm 100% sure that as you are passionate about whatever you're doing, as I'm passionate about understanding and approaching and speaking about reality, any one of us that is listening has some passion, and the only thing he needs to do is just to release it. And you're such an example, because it's not necessary to be the most fancy thing, the most smart thing, or the big one. Everyone is waiting for the big shot, but it's not necessary to create a big impact. It's only a small, authentic desire that you are willing to express. And yeah, your personal example, then how the magic is actually happening, and how big an impact can be created, and even all over the world, just because somebody is believing and is daring to express his internal desire.
Yes, I mean, we came across somebody, there was a case, I mean, obviously for confidentiality purposes, I can't disclose which country and where, but we came across a case where there was a fantastic boy. I'm saying fantastic because he attracted everybody's attention. So as he's going along the street in this village area, people say he kicks up cans and things like that. So if you're sleeping, he's kicking a can up at night, and then you're looking out the window and it's this boy, and he's homeless, basically. So he's attracting attention. But what they're doing is they're actually, and apparently he can kick this can. And I said, okay, how far does he kick this can? He can kick it from one end of the street to the other end of the street. So I said, okay, so what are you doing about it? So they said, oh, the police have taken him and put him in prison. I said, okay, so you've taken the next international football champion and you put him behind bars. That's very interesting. So we are in a very strange situation where we're trying to kind of access this child. And I honestly believe he's going to be a serious footballer. And I will do everything, and my team, I'm sure as well, we'll do everything we can to change this around, because I do not want, I mean, just imagine the potential of this boy. So I see something there, and it's something, we see a positive perspective. I see something really powerful there. So it's things like that, Alex. You have to see, you can't just focus on the bad. You have to see the good. And sometimes when we overthink, the problem is we think and we're overthinking, but we're overthinking about the negative. No one is thinking and overthinking the positive, but I'm trying to do that. I'm the opposite. I sit there and think, and sometimes I can start from London and end up in Brazil in regards to the amount of possibilities that they're out there for these children. I've circled the whole world thinking, okay, yes, this is brilliant. And everybody is sitting there scratching their heads thinking, what? But I think it's just it's about, because there is a lot of good in this world. Yes, there's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of good. But the thing is, you see our reality is bad because it's released around us to see. So just imagine if all the positivity and the faith and the hope was released instead.
Yeah, I got this. And actually, what is very interesting is that we as people, as more we start to interact in reality and are willing to be active and show our positiveness and not just keep it for ourselves. Because I was like this also till my 45, 6 years. I thought that everything I'm doing in life, I'm going to keep it only for me. And the last 2-3 years, I just decided to open up and to start giving away everything that I am. And if there are people around that are willing to enjoy it, they can enjoy it. But at least I'm positioned myself as a person that is giving away. And it helps me a lot, even more than before. And it actually makes you much more free, much more bold, much more confident, because all of us have a uniqueness. And what I realized is that actually the emptiness into the reality that can be filled only specifically from each of us. I mean, the things that you are seeing up there, and when people are supporting you, it is something that the other people even cannot see, or they're ignoring, or every people have different passion. So it's not possible all of us to be like you, but of course a lot of us can support you and can support what you are doing. And I tried once to enter your webpage, and can you give us again how they can reach you? And then long term, I'm going to put it also into the YouTube video. And the most beautiful thing is that once they give away something, actually it's going to stay forever through the social entrepreneurship that you are creating. And maybe long term, there could be people that can, instead of giving money, can give some skills or whatever other support is possible in the areas that they are living. Because I have a lot of people from India, from the States, from different parts of the world that are watching me, or at least we're cooperating together or collaborating. So if you can tell us more about what and how we can interact and be involved with you.
Yeah. Well, in terms of our website, the projects are growing so fast that the website is struggling to keep up, but we are kind of working to sort that out, because we're now in 4 continents. With Canada, we now move into North America. And I do have a meeting with someone from the US as well, who is interested to talk and discuss further. So who knows, maybe BH40 USA is coming. I don't know. The way this is moving, it could go anywhere. So what I would say is, on all our social media channels, all the projects are there. We do have our donation link. We have our own app. So if you want to go to LinkedIn, or I can give you it, Alex, and you can drop it in and I can drop the website. I can also drop links to all the social media channels for all the work we've done. You can send us an email at inquiries@beh40.com should you want to get involved. Or you can just drop us a DM on any of the social media channels and somebody will pick that up. Yeah, there's plenty of ways to get in touch with us, but we would be honored for anybody of any skill set, or even if you think you don't have any skill, if you have time, that is a precious commodity. I mean, my hope is that all the time I'm investing, even when I'm gone, I hope that it just runs forever. Somebody picks it up and it just continues. That's my hope and prayer, because I honestly believe, as a Christian, I believe that it is truly better to give than to receive. It really is. It's a massive spiritual shift in you and others around you, and it has a massive power, and also I believe that I walk in a lot of joy, because I believe that no matter what happens, and I don't know how people feel about this, but this is me, my plane will never crash. There may be quite a bit of turbulence throughout life, but it will never crash. That's what I believe. So my hope is that I can give that message out, that the joy of the Lord is your strength. The joy when you walk with that deep spiritual joy. When I walk with my Lord, the Lord Jesus, I have experienced a lot of joy. I've experienced a lot of miracles, in my life. It's a personal thing. And, it's you've asked my personal reality. So this is me. And I carry that and I walk in that. And I believe in its power. There is a lot of power in spreading joy and happiness. There really is. It's a massive superpower. Because, like I said, don't earn joy for yourself. Giving that joy to someone else, you need to try it. It's you don't have to give a lot, but it's all about, none of us live forever, Alex. No one's going to live forever. What we do with our time and how we, express ourselves and what our reality is up to us. It's up to all of us. But nobody's gonna stay forever. So the time you have is now.
Yeah.
And it's up to you how you live that.
Yeah. So actually your journey is in giving away joy for others started with this singing process and performance. Then you felt it for the first time that you are giving this joy to others.
Yeah, a lot of people actually really enjoyed it, because I actually asked, as a marketeer, you have this bad habit of looking for reviews. Even in a charity project, I was trying to gather reviews and conduct research. And a lot of people didn't say anything, but the ones that did say something, they said, I really enjoyed that. I loved it, because there was a massive endorphin release. Everybody's dying around you. People are hearing bad things on the news and stuff. And then all of a sudden, people are just getting up in the room and dancing and singing and jumping and recording themselves. And they actually it was a massive release. So I think people they experienced that freedom, that kind of, I'm happy, that kind of thing. There's a joy in letting go of fear. And when that happens, I think you can truly experience a different level of joy and happiness, and like I said, maybe it's my naivety, maybe it's just me, but I'm always looking at it as turbulence. It's there temporary. And then after that, the sun shines in the morning. And I'm always looking for the sun shining in the morning after the rain.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and I hope all the audience can see how a person that has decided to start doing and to just express himself, how everything in reality explodes. So you're a very good personal example and inspiration for all the people around you, because what you are doing, everyone can do in different areas of life with different type of impact. It's not necessary all of us to copy each other, but the best thing is just to support each other. Yeah. So all of us that are willing to support you, I will put all the links below, so they can watch it later in the YouTube, in the Facebook Live, in LinkedIn, and everywhere. And let us all spread the good things that all of us are doing.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of amazing people doing a lot of amazing things, and my desire to meet them or speak to them one day. You can only spur each other on. Joy begets joy. Yeah. But I'm really grateful to all your listeners and your audience, and also I just want to say a massive thank you to all my team, because it's not possible without them. So I'm very grateful to everybody, our sponsors, our partners, our celebrity ambassadors, brand ambassadors, everyone that's in the team. I'm very grateful. And I'm very grateful to you, Alex, as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again. And we will continue to collaborate together in different ways and supporting each other. So thank you for participating in Reality Talks with Alex. It was great having you, and all of you can continue watching another great and beautiful examples about how we can actually be rulers of our own reality and create amazing impacts out there. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.